And welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
Today, we're going to get into the Eminem Show. Eminem Show is Eminem's fourth studio album. It's his third in the trilogy of, the Slim Shady series. Came out in 2002. It was led by the single Without Me. A lot of big songs on this album. I mean, Cleaning Out My Closet, Business, My Dad's Gone Crazy, Sing for the Moment, Superman. And this album was a little different for Eminem because it was almost entirely produced by him. So this is like the album that came out that, at least for me, I started recognizing him as like a full-on artist. Before he was just a rapper. And with this album, he was more experimental. He sang, he produced. His songs seemed to be more layered out and more thought behind the process behind it. What were your thoughts on this album?
This album I live with a lot. So when this album came out, it was kind of like polarizing because it was like it was at his height. So like Marshall Mathers LP was a monster, right? Mm-hmm. But I remember that the album came out 2 days early. So remember when albums just come out on Tuesday?
Yeah.
So that year, people was like, "Yo, I just got the Eminem out." I'm like, "It's Sunday. How the hell did you get it?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Yo, I gotta go to the mall." I went to the mall, and I think what was it? It wasn't Sam Goody. It was like FYE. Mm-hmm. And I went to FYE and I got the album, and it was a lot to really take in and listen to because this album was kind of like a mixed bag, like where this album was him like dealing with success. Mm-hmm. So you're listening to this project and you're like, all right, so the first album was like his introduction, being broke, trying to get on. Then the Marshall Mathers LP was more so like him like being at the top, like basically being the man. And now you're listening to him and he's pretty much like just telling you like, I'm getting sued by everyone. The shit's starting not to be fun anymore. My privacy's being invaded. He was going at George Bush crazy, following the footsteps of NWA, Public Enemy, Mos Def. Talib was very political. I'm probably missing a couple other people, but Cube is
as far
NWA.
as his beefs.
No, just as far as like following in the footsteps of going at because he really like on Encore he really dived into it, but like this was like the start of it, like of his like social awareness. Yeah. Going into it because like all of the stuff that was going on with George Bush and everything like that. So this album was just like a polarizing album for me, and it was a really good sounding album. So his two previous projects, like I know that they were great, but I couldn't listen to it straight through all of them. It was a lot of skips. This album, they weren't. It's funny because like you said, he produced most of it, so listening to it, it was easier listening to other projects. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I just feel like, like Drake, he's Dr. Dre. He can step in anybody's world. But I think under his tutelage, Eminem was able to, like, really get the sound that he wanted. And, like, a lot of the samples that he used were, like, rock-influenced samples and shit like that. So that's what was really dope.
Like Sing for the Moment. Sing for the Moment's a really big song for him. Mm-hmm. I pretty much, like, agree with everything you said. Like, I think, and he even used this album to start putting on different artists, like Obi Trice is from Detroit, and even though not much came from Obi, but
that first album
was hard.
Shout out to the big homie Alvon Miller for working that project. He was very instrumental in that. Shout out to Alvon.
Second album was good too. Cheers and Second Rounds on Me, I think it was called. Mm-hmm. But he had some prominent like moments on this album. That's why I've always appreciated it. And it came out in a really big year for Eminem. I mean, what year did 8 Mile come out? I want to say it was the same year.
I believe so.
If
he had a big year, so it was like you gotta think he had 8 Mile, then he had Devil's Night for the D12 album that came out as well. Mm-hmm. Like it was just like a full year, so I think that's why like
that's so much nuts. Fun. So Eminem Show came out in May of 2002. The 8 Mile movie came out in November of 2002.
Right.
So the soundtrack came out in 2002 as well. Like, he was no doubt the biggest rapper of that year.
Right. And think about it. Like, so the Eminem Show was probably done before all of that. And then he signed 50. Mm-hmm. And he had, like, it just seemed like it was a lot. Like,
yeah, I mean, 2003.
Yeah.
Going into man, he was the biggest thing out.
And was and then also he was beefing everybody. His list of beefs with people was crazy. So you got, let's see, Christina Aguilera, him and Fred Durst was cool. Fred Durst said he didn't care. Yeah. Moby, Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. Who else? Insane Clown Posse. Mm-hmm. Evanescence.
Yeah. But when you look at Eminem's beefs, none of them, I guess you could say, none of them are with any rappers that can, like, go toe to toe with him. Right. Because he had Benzino and he had, like, these people that was laughable to everybody else. And he's so good at poking fun at people that people already make fun of, in a sense. Yeah. So, like, I always wanted to see, the rap fan in me always wanted Eminem to have a real structured beef with a credible MC.
I just feel like I'm gonna say it, I think rappers was just scared. Like, cause you gotta think about it, like, he's already, like, this talented ass rapper, right? And then, like, he's white. Like, I just felt like rappers knew his fan base was too strong. Like, he literally had the Beehive. Mm-hmm. And I just think that they felt like he was too strong to go against or, like, go at and shit like that. And I'm pretty sure it was people that, like, took swipes and everything. But also, Eminem came in, like, really humble and, like, paid homage to people and, like, told people how much he fucked with them. And then he had a lot of relationships because, like, you know, he was, like, a big Redman fan. So, like, when they would come to Jersey, like, he went and, like, ran down on Redman, was like, yo, I love you. Like, you're, like, one of the best MCs ever. He was around Fat Joe. Mm-hmm. And Fat Joe had the opportunity to sign him, but passed on it. So it's just like, it's a lot of things, it's a lot of relationships that he had prior, because, you know, like, even though it's not counted as his debut album, Infinite came out independently. Yeah. And still did good, so yeah.
And LL Cool J is like his fucking idol. There's like this clip of him calling LL and just rapping LL songs. And he's like, who is this? And every time he's like, yo, who is this? He just starts rapping again. Just giving mad LL bars. I gotta find it. It's mad funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do when I meet Vin Diesel. I'm just gonna say mad quotes from all the time.
It's like, nice to meet you, sir. It's like, what is this? But okay, we can get actually into the album. The album kicks off, curtains up. We can skip that, but it goes right into White America. Right. Really powerful song. With a message. I do remember him performing this on the VMAs. I thought that was really, really, really powerful, because his setup was like he was in a court, and it was like really dope, because I don't think white people really know what to make of this song. Right.
I mean, it's really funny because he was basically like owning it. To me, like, I think that he was like just saying like, yo, I'm a guest in the house of hip hop. Mm-hmm. And I know that most of my fans are my fans because they look like me. They might not per se fuck with hip hop, but they like me because I look like them. Yeah. And you know, I think that he understood it, and he was like very like self-aware. So like he made that project, and he was just basically saying like, yo, like I'm here, and you know, hip hop is a black culture, like, respect that shit.
And it's him, just owning his privilege in a way. Like, he, you know, my blue eyes, whatever. Like, everything that he says in his verses, it's him accepting and not being blind to his privilege, which I liked.
Nah, I liked it too. I think that the ending was really, really dope. Like what he said at the end, when he does the outro, what he says, so to the parents of America, I am the Derringer, aimed at the little Erica to attack her character. Like, you know, the ringleader of this circle is worthless pawn sent to lead the march right up to the steps of Congress and piss on the lawns of the White House. I feel like those people that like raided the White House last year, they were listening to this shit and doesn't realize he was talking about them.
Yeah. I don't think they know. They just see this dude with his hair bleached, and they see a title, White America, and they probably feel like he's an ally.
Son, this nigga said, "Fuck you, Miss Cheney. Fuck you, Tipper Gore."
like man,
he was going off.
Yeah, he was. It's just weird though. Like when you listen to songs like this and you see where Eminem is now in his life, all these songs back then were so personality driven and so topic based. Like he could like give you different key topics and sound so good. Just uncovering his life and shit. Mm-hmm. But now I feel like he doesn't have anything to talk about or anything to explore. So he just gives you these rhymes that you don't want to fucking hear.
Yeah, I like. Okay, so number one, also, white America is mixed amazingly.
Yeah.
The running joke is that like I have headphones on this episode, guys. That my ear for audio is terrible, right? But I do know that white America is mixed beautifully.
That shit gets your attention immediately,
yeah, right? So I just think that I don't know, bro. Like I just think that M kind of just wasn't. He just wasn't with the shits, and like he just really just wanted to like just bring all of that shit to the forefront. Like I think he was just sick of everything, and I think also Proof being his friend, growing up, and like him understanding like, all right, like I'm struggling, but like there are like black people struggling like 10 times worse than like what I got it, even more, and he's basically just saying like, yo, I could be one of you people's kids that you're out here like speaking against me to, and like they'll probably listen to my music and actually listen to me more than they listen to you.
Yeah.
So before canceling was a thing, like he's basically saying like you guys can't cancel me.
Yeah.
Like it can't happen.
And shit, if anybody was to get canceled back then, it would have been Eminem. Like he had there were so many anti-Eminem rallies and everything. And I think in a way that's what made him a bigger artist, because he was so anti-everything, and like you listen to him knowing you weren't supposed to. At least younger kids listen to him knowing they weren't supposed to. So that was like a thrill in listening to his music. Mm-hmm. Listening to a song like a 13-year-old listening to a song like "Criminal" from Eminem, it's probably like, man, I'm not supposed to be listening to this. This is like, but this is so good, you know?
Nah, it like it's just one of those things, and I also think the fact that when he said that, like he already knew, like if he was black, he probably would sell half as many records, and probably less than that, probably maybe a quarter or whatever like that, right? Because you got an artist like Mos Def at this time, and I'll say this with no problem, Mos Def could stand toe to toe with Eminem, but he was barely going gold.
Yeah,
and I feel like he came up not the same way, but he came up battle rapping and being in the what was it called, the Rappers Lounge. The Lyricist Lounge. Like he came up in the Lyricist Lounge, and M will like fuck with them at the Lyricist Lounge too. So it's not like most definitely like he got on, he did his thing too, but like their come up was kind of like similar in a sense, right? But like M is white, and Middle America, that whole area like where things are like just not, where they just don't give a fuck to see black people. Like they see this white rapper, and it just happens. That's why when white rappers come out, they kind of get like a shot.
Yeah,
they get a shot. So when you got your Asher Roth, you got shit. Look, Jack Harlow now. Like, me and your cousin Al, I'm going back and forth on a bit about Twitter now.
Shout out to Al.
Shout out to Al.
Yeah, I saw a bit of that. I think, and you guys had like, for context, they were having a discussion about Jack Harlow's success, right, and about like where he is now and what that's credited to. And Taurian was basically saying that he worked hard for it, even though he is privileged. He worked hard for it in the sense that like he built the following in Kentucky before he got put on. So that's his base.
I was defending the white man, guys.
Yeah, Black History Month too. That's crazy, but nah. So. And Al was saying, well, yeah, he got that push because he's white. I think both sides are right. I think he did do the groundwork, but at the same time, while he's here, he's getting the look more so because he's white. I think he is getting that push.
Well, yeah. Obviously him being white doesn't hurt, but yeah, I just feel like a lot of the things that he's fucking with, like he has a sponsorship with Kentucky Fried Chicken. He's from Kentucky.
Yeah.
He wears New Balances every day. You got to deal with New Balance. So yeah, I just feel like also the label that he signed to, like it was the same label that signed Little Uzi Vert. Yeah. So they already have all of these sponsorships, phone numbers, and everything like that. So they'd be like, hey, we know Little Uzi might not be able to be the face of your brand, but hey, we got this white kid and he's pretty cool and he makes good music.
Yeah, man, and everything is working in his favor. I don't know how his team got my email, but I be getting every time a new song, Jack Harlow song come out, I get the email. It's there. So somebody doing a fucking job.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. Business, getting back to the album, is the next song, and it's produced by Dr. Dre.
I think that this song, to me, it comes off like he's poking fun at the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, why?
Because it kind of gives me like a circus. It gives me two themes. It gives me a circus theme, but it also sounds like the Adam West Batman theme.
Yeah, Marshall.
Yeah, so it sounds like that. But I just took it like because I know that he was going at it with the Insane Clown Posse, and like it was, I guess because he was doing like kind of like a goofy rap rap scheme, and I was just like, Also, another thing, Eminem, please bring back the way that you rap like this. I know, like, the Super Bowl commercial said everything. Stop trying to fit so many words into all those bars, man. Like, just tone it down.
That's really what it is. And I honestly don't think Eminem. I think Eminem wants to do this. I just don't think he can. I think the drugs really fueled him.
I see what you're saying.
I don't think he can. And I think, it sucks because when you're an artist like Eminem, or even an artist like Wayne, I remember when Wayne got out of jail and he was clean, and people was like, "Nah, man, pick that lean back up, pick that back up," and that's fucked up to hear.
Yeah.
When you clean and niggas is telling you get back on drugs because your shit is not good, that's what Eminem went through. Or that's what he's going through.
Yeah, that's what he's going through, and I don't think that that's right because we all know that M could still rap. I think his biggest problem is just that like now he has everything he ever wanted, and especially I think it's still easier for a black rapper, even if they made it, to still talk about the struggle and shit like that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's easy for a white rapper.
Yeah, I mean, because you already privileged as it is.
Even if you poor and white and living in a trailer park, you still got some kind of privilege. You'll still get like a handout, something. But when you black, like it's still like you can still reference to it. Like Jay-Z still references like I'm from the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and the way that Hove does it is incredible because he can't just come out of nowhere and just talk about it. He has to get with somebody that inspires him to reminisce. So like even shit. American Gangster coming out, he got inspired by watching a movie, to tap back into, the 80s and shit that he was into. So I think M just needs to live. He needs to live life. I think you the one that told me that, like, he don't leave the house. His team.
He don't leave Detroit. So like, have you ever seen like Eminem like on a boat, on a yacht?
He don't do shit.
Like, and I'm pretty sure that he's going on like family vacations and shit like that with his daughter. But like, I've never, to my knowledge, like like, if he don't gotta like make an appearance or like go on tour, he's home. He's a homebody.
I need a vacation Eminem. I need Eminem to like go out, go live life, take a vacation, get on a fucking boat. Yeah. Go be irresponsible.
Yo, bro, I saw an interview with M. Like they went on the anger management tour. It was like that world tour, and they were like, "Oh, like so, what did you think about this country?" And he was like, "I don't know. Like I just was in and out of my hotel room, went to the show, left, got on the plane." So think about it. He's probably like he's been to so many different countries and like had so many cool experiences, and he didn't even like take it in like how he could have.
It's just work. Yep. That's sad, man.
Yeah, it sucks.
But at the same time, he's a machine, He's big enough to, like, I guess he can, like, maneuver that way. Mm-hmm. But that takes us into Cleaning Out My Closet, which is a huge single for this album. Mm-hmm. It was produced by Eminem. Very different choice for a second single. But at the same time, when you look at Marshall Mathers' LP, first single was Real Slim Shady. The next single was The Way I Am. That was, like, a complete contrast. Mm-hmm. So this followed the formula. So like Cleaning Out My Closet, he unpacked a lot of shit. This was my first time when I was younger hearing the term cleaning out my closet and what it meant. Oh. I never really put that two and two together.
Shit.
Yeah. So when I heard
Skeletons in the Closet was I knew what the fuck. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Okay, so hearing such a personal song like this, I remember talking to my brother about this, and he was like, "Man, I don't know why you like this dude." And I was like, "Yo, I mean, it's good."
I didn't know Shay One don't like Eminem.
Nah, he never liked Eminem.
Really?
Ever. ever. No. He liked Eminem Slim Shady because it was so cartoonish. But he could like rap. Mm-hmm. And then after that, he didn't care no more because he's like, yo, listen to the way he talk about his mom. Okay. I don't want to kill my mom.
That was okay. So that leads me into this. So obviously, when we heard it when we were younger, right? You're listening to it, and you're not listening to it with the ears that we have now as adults, as grown men. I can't get jiggy with this song no more.
Yeah, no, I don't listen to this song no more.
It's not. It doesn't do. It's an unneeded song. I mean, he's even said that he regrets like how he went at his mom and everything like that. You know, granted, like the things that they went through, but like for me, like it's really difficult to like hear this song, and because you know, in rap, like that's unheard of. Everybody like praises their mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even like Tupac, he said, even though you was a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen. Like always propping their mothers up. So for M, like he went completely left, and like he could never put out this music now because you got to think about it. Like they would be like, "Yo, he's a misogynist. He hates his child, his wife. He hates his mother. Like this man hates women.
This would not fly today.
Yeah, like it just wouldn't work. And maybe like that's what it is. Like my more censored ears and everything like that. But like it's really hard to get through this song. Like even like
just imagine being Eminem's mom and just like being out and somebody just being like, "Fuck you, Debbie."
Yeah.
Like what, bro?
Right.
Look at what you doing. Like even if you don't have the best relationship with your mom, look at the energy you putting out for other people, for your fans.
Yeah.
To probably see her.
Yo, he's probably had fans yelling "Fuck you, Debbie" crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, he says, now, I would never, ever diss my own mama to get recognition. And then proceeds to diss his mama, like, and really shit on her. I just can't, get jiggy with it.
I think, okay, so why do you think this flew back then?
I think it wasn't surprising to hear it from a white person. And it was just, like, shocking and whatever like that. And I also think that, like, he had such, like, a large fan base that of white Midwestern people, right? Mainly, majority. And I think they related because, like, I've definitely, like, my white friends, I've heard them say, "I hate you, mom," and shit like that. Like, you know, we hear comedians, like, people always joking, like, white kids always saying they hate their mom and shit like that. That was, like, a thing. And I'm pretty sure, like, I definitely have friends that are, you know, ethnic that, like, have bad relationships with their mothers. But it's not even, like, to that extent. Like, like, it's just something that's kind of, like, it's just weird, man. It's just weird and it's uncomfortable. I think Jim Jones said it best. He was like, "You don't hear nobody in the hood bumping Eminem." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just something you don't hear, but it's like, you know, he nice. Yeah. So it's like it's hard. It's hard to like say it. Like it's like, yo, how is he selling these records? Like I don't know. Like some people might say, I don't know who's buying his record, but he sells my records, and I'm like, well, shit, I bought it, but like, you know, I'm not cleaning out my closet.
Yeah, nah. I'm not playing that. But like back then, I think there was just more leeway for artists like Eminem to exist because yes, he was white. And then back then I feel like Eminem and artists like him also had an air to where you appreciated them because they weren't of the culture, but they appreciated the culture.
So much.
So like you could get with the fact that Eminem hung out with black people and embraced it, and then at the same time put people like 50 in the space that they was in. So it never looked like he was appropriating back then, but I think that would be a conversation today about whether or not he was.
Absolutely. If Bruno Mars is getting it, M would absolutely get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
And I never took it that way from M, but yeah, Clean Out My Closet is such a contrast. And I never thought about it in a way that like we have songs like "Hey Mama" where you know you love your mom.
Yeah.
The Mama song from Boyz II Men. Like black people, we love our moms. Like you not going on.
You don't talk about Big Mama.
Yeah, what? You don't talk about your mom. Like so hearing shit like this, and I always say, and I've said on this show a couple times where like I don't listen to songs for the relation of it, for the relatability. Like I don't go to it just because I can relate. I'll listen to it for perspective, to hear other perspectives. So, like, hearing him trash his mom today will make me cringe. But back then, it was like,
it's like a movie.
I mean, that's where he at. Yeah, that's where he at. So I used to argue with my brother about that all the time. Like, yo, like, I mean, I'm not listening to it because I feel the same way. I love my mom, but that's what he going through.
I mean, nah, that's true. I mean, shit, we not selling fucking drugs and
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I get it. I get
it.
It's just I guess it's just like, all right, you going too far. Like
yeah. Certain shit is just too far. Like I can't listen to 97 Bonnie and Clyde because he's like killing Kim, takes her to the beach and buries her with his daughter. Like that shit is just, I can't listen to that. That shit is like crazy.
He said that he played that shit for Kim in the car. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, that's some wild shit. But yeah, we'll go to Square Dance. Square Dance is the next song. It's produced by Eminem. Very odd placement for this song, but I get what he was doing. He does address his who he wants to beef with, who he's trying to beef with.
Yeah.
On this song. Actually, Cannabis did do, after some research, Cannabis did a diss toward him, and Eminem like called him out. He did like a slight beef check towards him. He called him out, and Cannabis didn't say anything. He called him out on this song.
Yeah, he did that, and then it also was like a fuck you to George W. Bush, U.S. government, and the Iraq War, because, you know, this was post 9/11 and everything that was going on, and Eminem was just like, yo, this is bullshit. Like, this is a cash grab for you guys, and it was also like very like interesting to hear somebody besides like a Tupac or like an Ice-T going at like the U.S. government, and then he's white. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this country is built for you to succeed. It's built for you. And he's like, nah, this ain't cool because I got, you know, I got people that I love that don't look like me that are suffering because of like decisions that y'all are making and shit. So it was always cool to hear that shit. You know, I just think him just going in on this song and then basically just talking about how like people want to censor him and everything like that it was spot on. But also, I'll say that this song can get a little annoying.
Yeah, that chorus. Yeah. The chorus is a little annoying.
Yeah.
But he's spitting. You want to skip the skit?
Yeah.
So the kiss skit leads right into Soldier.
Right.
Which is kind of a confusing lead-in for me.
Yeah.
Because the kiss is basically about him like waiting for his girl to fuck up, and he goes out there and he like hurts her because she cheats on him or kisses some dude.
Well, yeah, you know, like, so basically this nigga recreated what really happened when he pulled out an unloaded gun on the bouncer that Kim was dating or cheating on him with, essentially. And I just think, why is the song called Soldier?
Yeah.
Because like nothing about this makes you a soldier. Him flowing this is amazing. The beat is amazing. Him, you know, talking about what's going on with him and Kim, you know, obviously, you know, we want to know and shit like that. But it was very like, yo, bro, this don't make you a soldier. This makes you like a fucking stalker or abuser, my nigga. Like, it is. And then also, I really enjoy 50's version of the song.
Yeah. Every time I hear I'm a soldier, in my head I go, clack, clack, G Unit. Yeah. Every time. 50's version is great. No, this is a great song, but yeah, it does throw me off that it's even called Soldier. Eminem, 50 recreating it kind of like made me like it a little more, but that's about it. Still a great song though.
Yes.
Because he's fucking spitting on that song. Say Goodbye to Hollywood. Really, really good, in my opinion. It's produced by Eminem himself. This kind of fits along the lines of The Way I Am with like Extended because he's more famous now. He has more like what's the word I'm looking for? He's just done. He's just done with this shit. He like talking about the highs of wanting the Hollywood life to like the lows of actually having it to figuring out that living normal might actually be the wave. Like y'all can have this shit.
So I have a love-hate relationship with this song, and I think it's because I'm so mad that like Eminem really didn't lean into his like acting career because he's a natural. Yeah. Right.
But even hearing him recreate that Kiss skit, like it sounded great.
Yeah, he's a natural. Like he's actually like it sucks, man, that like some people like they just shy people or whatever like that, right? So hearing this song, it's like, I don't even want to hear this because like remember like he was supposed to be in Southpaw and Jake Gyllenhaal took the role and everything, and then there's a few other movies that like he was like actually like in the right. Oh man, Need for Speed. He was supposed to be in Need for Speed as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And yeah, Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad took the role instead.
Oh,
Yeah, like, and if you look at the characters, like, you're like, oh shit, like, I absolutely get how Eminem could have played that part. You know, angsty white guy, like, you know, a lot of anger. But yeah, like, he just never, because he never really wants to leave Detroit. So, like, he's just like, yo, I can't. Like, 8 Mile was perfect because it was in his hometown, but, like, typically, like, you can't get him to do shit. I'm surprised they got him to do Super Bowl.
He's such a weird dude, man. But no, Say Goodbye to Hollywood, I think, was a great song. I think it perfectly depicts how Eminem felt in his life. And in my opinion, it's like The Way I Am Part 2.
Yeah, I say that. I agree.
All right, so it also, let me see, there was like one, let's see, yeah, no, I don't need to mention that. Drips is what it goes into next, which is terrible.
Yo, Obi Trice really, really like, man, he was too detailed with this shit.
He was. It's hard to listen gross.
to. Yeah, I hate this song. Talking about getting AIDS, like, it's nasty. Him and M just both like really leaned into this song.
This is such a throwaway. Like, it's like, why? Yeah. Why did y'all make this shit?
This is such a college frat boy song.
It is. We can skip right over that.
Thank you.
Without Me.
Okay, so do you think of the trilogy of his lead singles, Without Me is the best?
So My Name Is, Real Slim Shady, and Without Me. Damn, I really like Just Lose It too. I'm not gonna lie. But out of those three, yeah, Without Me is the best. The Real Slim Shady chorus is annoying.
Yeah, and obviously My Name Is fucking dope, and I really like it, but the production isn't as good as Without Me. Also, like, you know, this is like where he's, you know, his beef with Michael Jackson starts. Because, you know, he was imitating Michael Jackson. But it's like, you know, everybody pretends to be Michael Jackson. Like, comedians make jokes all the time. Why can't a rapper, right? Him and Moby got into it because basically Moby said, like, yo, I think that he's, you know, he's a great artist. But, like, Moby said, I think that, like, he's homophobic and that he's an anti-Semite. And I just can't get with that. And Eminem was like, yo, fuck you, you fucking vegan enthusiast.
Moby, you could get stomped by Obi.
Right. And then he also spoke about Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC.
Chris Kirkpatrick, you can get your ass kicked, yeah.
Yeah, because Chris, when you know, they do this thing on red carpets where they just ask artists, you know, hey, what do you think of this? And they were like, yo, what do you think about it? And, like, Lance Bass was like, I don't think it was a diss. I think he just was just, you know, acknowledging us. And then just Timon was like, damn, man. Yeah, but Christina Aguilera got it the worst. Yeah. And Chris Kirkpatrick was like, yo, man, I don't give a fuck about Eminem. I'm fucking Chris Kirkpatrick. Like, I'm in NSYNC. I don't give a fuck about
him. But no, this was a really big single. I remember when it came out and I was like, all right. By this time, you already knew the Eminem formula. So I was like, all right, this song is out, but what's going to be next? Of course, after that, we got Cleaning Out My Closet. But Without Me was fun. And another reason why we kind of liked, or I liked Eminem back then, was because he gave us a side of Dr. Dre that we didn't see normally.
Yeah.
He gave us like a silly side of Dr. Dre.
Right, and I think that's a huge side of him, and like we don't really get to see it that much.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think because of him, like we actually, you know, he actually like did more. He was like out more and like, you know, like talking more and stuff like that. And then you notice like when M fell back, he kind of fell back. Yeah. And that's like, you know, when he kind of like leaned into the Beats by Dre stuff with Jimmy Iovine and everything. But yeah, like I just think it was really dope to actually like see that side of Dre.
Yeah. Even at did you peep at the Super Bowl when he kind of like went along with the choreography?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. Yeah. So he's, you know, Dre is silly like on the low, but like he hides it pretty well because he knows his image. NWA, you know, Death Row, like he knows that's like a big part of his image. But every now and then, you might see him like bust a move or do something silly.
That's funny. Which
is cool. So, Rosenberg skit. You had anything on that? I thought that was pretty funny.
Actually, I got a Paul Rosenberg story.
I figured you would.
When I went to Coachella, my mentor Alvon, I was already in LA, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at Coachella with Griselda. Eminem's closing out. You know, come meet me at Coachella." So I was like, "All right, bet." I had a rental car. I drove out there, whatever, met up with them, and this was like early Griselda, when they had just got to deal with Shady, and Westside Gun and Conway were performing, and I got to meet them too. It was actually cool. So. The Airbnb that I was staying at, Alvin was like, "All right, what's the address? I gotta send the merch and everything to the Airbnb." So I was like, "All right, cool. Like, here's everything," and like they sent it, right, and they were like bags and towels to give out to fans. So Shady Records like always does that, have everybody walking around with that. So it was bandanas because it's like sand everywhere and shit, right? So I get to the Airbnb and like I asked like the host, "Hey, I had a package delivered here. Like, do you know where it is?" They were like, "No, nothing's been delivered. I didn't get anything." So I'm like, "All right." So then Alvon like he finally like gets in, right, and he's like, "Yo, where's the stuff?" And I was like, "I don't know." He was like, "Well, Taurian, it's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday. They perform on Sunday. Like we need this merch." So I was like, all right. So like I asked the host again, and the host is like, "Oh, so here where we live at in this complex, the mail doesn't come to our doorstep. There's like a center where our mail goes. The center is closed." So Sunday morning comes, and I don't want to wake up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Yo, the merch arrived, but it's in the center, and like nobody's here to open it up." And Alvon was like, "Oh, somebody's gonna open that shit." So like we go, like we eat breakfast, and like I'm just like mad. Like I'm like, "Yo, I fucked up. Like I should have asked more questions. Like beating myself up." So like we there, and like we're just like asking the people like, "Hey, we need you to open," and they're like, "We don't have the key." And Alvon's like, "That's bullshit. Like listen, I'm a diabetic. Like, I have medicine that just got mailed to this place. I'm gonna fucking die if you don't let me get this shit." Like he's just going ham, right? So then the lady's like, "What?" He's like, "Yes, I'm out. Like, I'm a diabetic." And like, so like, she's like, all right. So she lets him in, and we get the stuff, and then we get there right before they start performing. Like, we just make it, right? So then like, Alvon's like, "All right, I was gonna tell this other kid to like hand out towels and shit, but like you can do it, so go ahead." So I'm like, "All right, fuck it, like it's whatever." Like I got to come to Coachella for like free, like everything's paid for, all access pass, so fuck it. So I'm doing it, and I'm handing out like stuff, and I'm like trying to like really like just do it because I felt so bad about almost ruining everything, right? So I'm handing out towels, so then like I bump into like this big 6'4" dude, and like I'm like, "Excuse me, t-shirt." And he says, "Taurian." Paul Rosenberg knows my name, guys, yes. So I look up, and I'm like, "Oh, shit. Paul, what's up, man?" He was like, "You don't know who I am?" I was like, "No, I know who you are," but I was looking at the ground because, like, I'm like, I get all, like, nervous and flustered, like I'm talking to my father and shit.
He's a very big, stern dude.
Yeah, like, he don't smile, and then he's just like, "It's all right, man. Keep up the good work, man." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks a lot." And he was like, "Yeah, and I heard about that fiasco that happened today, man. You're fucking lucky." And I'm like, "Oh, shit." So, yeah, like, that was just, like, my story. And then later on, Alvon was like, "You don't know who my boss is?" And I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Paul told me that you walked up to him and handed him a towel." And I was like, "That's not what the fuck happened." Like, I just got dumb mad. I was like, "That's not what happened." I was like, "He's a white man in the desert." Like,
tall as fuck.
Yeah, like... But yeah, that's my Paul Rosenberg story. He's very stern. Like you don't really seeing him laugh is like that's like a rare thing. But like yeah, shout out to Paul Rosenberg. He's definitely sent me a couple places to work for Goliath and Shady Records, and I'm really happy about that.
I've only been around him once, and I think I was with you. I think we went to Shady offices.
Yeah, I took you to Shady offices before,
and he was there. Just taking up space.
Yeah,
just mad tall.
Yeah.
But "Sing for the Moment" was another big single from this album. It's produced by Eminem, and that sample
Aerosmith's
is
Dream
Aerosmith's.
On.
Dream On.
I think this song is actually a perfect song. what Eminem did with it was really, really smart. Even like how he's just telling the story, and I just think that what he did was like brilliant, and I could tell that like, all right, cool. He absolutely, heard this song as a kid, and Aerosmith was huge in the '80s, and 70s and '80s, and he took this and like made a really good flip for it, and like the sample is so good, like I think it should say featuring Aerosmith, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it should. I think that's what they do nowadays, right? With a sample.
Yeah,
they'll say that like Wale did that, like featuring Jamie Foxx. I'm like, oh shit, and then it's just a sample. I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
But yeah, I remember listening and him saying like, "Oh, you full of shit too, Guerrera. That was a fist that hit you." And he was talking about some bouncer that was trying to sue him because he said that he pistol whipped him, and he was like, "No, I punched you. I didn't pistol whip you." Like it was just the wild shit that he used to face back then was crazy.
Yeah, he was just ballsy, yo. Yeah. He just always just had like some shit to say.
Only Eminem back then, man. Superman.
Yeah, the Mariah diss?
Yeah, Superman came out back then. It was produced by Eminem, featured some singer by the name of Dina Ray.
Right. She probably was signed. She's probably on Interscope and probably has like some hit record we never knew about.
Yeah, this was a great song.
Yeah, it was a great song, and what's funny is that you hear the song and like he's saying I can't be your Superman, but like he's actually being a really horrible person to these women.
Yeah, he is.
And it's just really funny, like, when you find out, like, oh, like, he had a fling with Mariah Carey, and, like, this was, like, his song, like, shitting on her.
Yeah, but then also he's talking about his wife, too, and...
yeah, he's just talking about different women.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it was just a combination of him just talking about different women and the interactions that he had and shit like that. And it's just funny because, like, he had such a disdain for women, bro. It's, like, uncomfortable. But Superman is my shit. I'm sorry.
Superman's a great song. It's a guilty pleasure. It's one of the songs from this album that I definitely still go back to every now and then. But, yeah, and... Eminem's a huge Superman fan, so like he talks about Eminem every now and then, but this is like the best interpolation of that. Right. And the flow he used on this was amazing,
flawless.
What we got next?
Haley song.
Haley song, man. It's produced by Eminem. He opens the song with just telling you like, "Yo, I can't really sing, but I'm gonna try." And he gives us this beautiful record, like, dedicated to his daughter that, like, if you've been an Eminem fan up until this point, you know how much he loves his daughter, and that's all he talks about in the most positive way.
Right.
But, yeah, this is a great dedication song, I think.
It is, right? And I really, really, really enjoy it. And then I found out because, I always thought it was just an album cover, like it got plays on Z100. But the one thing that I still found really, really weird is that, like, towards the end, he says, like, Haley, remember, I said I'll always be there for you. And then it made me reference back to 97 Bonnie and Clyde when after he kills Kim, he says, don't worry, Haley, we'll always be together. And I'm just like, yo, what is wrong with this dude?
Yeah, this dude is nuts.
So yeah, that was just like my thing. Like
I think the only thing the positive thing about the way that he carried on is that like Haley can go online and trace these steps of her life and know that her dad never like wavered in his love for her.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So that's well documented. Yeah, everybody knows.
She's really popular on TikTok, and like she does like TikTok songs and stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. She's like big on the TikTok.
Yeah, so yeah, even to the point where when rappers even mention her, I mean, I think that's how his whole
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, that's how his whole beef with Machine Gun Kelly started because he said, "Yo, like she's beautiful." And he's like, "What?"
Yeah, Eminem takes things like he's the epitome of like I took that personally. Like yeah, that's him all day.
Like what? Don't call my daughter beautiful. And
yeah,
like
that's crazy.
And
yeah,
that's how
like,
it started.
Yo, Haley grew up.
Yeah,
what? Like
what?
Get in the fucking
she what?
Booth. Get in the booth right now.
Nigga start writing right then and there. What we got next?
After Haley's song. Isn't it?
We got the Steve Berman skit, which we can skip, and then you got When the Music Stops with D12.
Who you think had the best verse?
I think Eminem had the best verse.
I think Connor's had the best verse.
Yeah? Yeah. I like Eminem's verse. I like all their verses. Even I like Bizarre's verse on here too.
Yeah, I just think it's dope. All of them ended it with when the music stops. R.I.P. Proof, but I really felt like of all of them, Proof, like I don't know if like they set like some if everybody heard their verses or whatever like that, but like Proof was like the most off. When I heard it, I was like, what the fuck is Proof talking about? Like, I just, he didn't pull me in.
Yeah, it didn't really stick. But no, I did enjoy this posse cut, like, more than I thought that I would. And then Say What You Say. Say What You Say features Dr. Dre, and this was a diss to Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah. Which I really never understood. Like, it was such a silly... Their beef, like, yo, I swear to you, yo, like some of their beefs, the shit that they went hard about, like I was like, they just bored.
Yeah, it made no sense. Like, and I think since Eminem was kind of, his empire back then was kind of like built off beefs, like these silly beefs and shit. I think people around him fed into these beefs for no reason too.
Yeah.
And that's how Dre got roped into that.
Yeah, like, it's like who gives a fuck if Jermaine Dupri says he's like you like come on, Dr. Dre, you know Jermaine Dupri is not a better producer than you.
Yeah,
like come on, bro, and like y'all don't even like. I love Jermaine Dupri, and yes, he's a hip hop producer, but like we know where his bread and butter is at. It's an R&B. So why are you even threatening, bro? Like, come on, keep it moving.
And he hopped on the song, and then I think Jermaine Dupri released a diss track.
He absolutely
Jacking
did.
For Beats. That shit was fire.
Yeah, Jermaine Dupri is nasty, bro.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
He's a child of hip hop. Like, yeah, absolutely. He went on tour with Houdini. Like, he's a hip hop person. Like, he understands the sense of the battle.
Yeah, man. Dr. Dre.
Say What You Say is my least favorite track on the album.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I liked it back. Well, even more than Drips.
I'm sorry. Drips is my least favorite, and then
after that, Say What You Say. Okay. All right. Well, Till I Collapse.
He makes up for it right immediately.
Yeah.
The best song on the album.
Yeah. Till I Collapse, produced by Eminem. This is like the Eminem beat. This and Renegade are like the Eminem beats.
You just had to slide it in.
Because people pause. Because people.
Oh, hey, yo.
Because people always talk about Till I Collapse, and people always talk about Renegade, and I think those are his two shining moments as a producer. Eminem as a producer isn't like that. He's not that great. He has some songs that like are really good.
But those would be his calling cards.
Those are his two, yes. And then on top of the fact that he got Nate Dogg on here.
R.I.P. Nate Dogg.
R.I.P. Nate Dogg.
Nate Dogg is also the greatest hooker man in hip hop history. I don't care what nobody say.
Yes, and Nate Dogg, if he was alive, he would have been at that Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
He could have. Yeah, he had to.
With his Stacey Adams, all that shit. Yeah, hell yeah. With
he would have been at
his
that
barbecue
Super Bowl
outfit. Hell yeah.
Man, that would have been so lovely.
Yeah, man.
But no, they killed this song. Nate Dogg did what he had to do. Eminem, people always reference his top 10 in here. Did he name 10 or 9?
No, he named 5.
Nah, he named 10 or 9. Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Jada Corrupt.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Nas, and then me. So he named 9.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, it's a solid list. That's an absolute solid list. I love the fact that like when we all first heard it, like everybody was like, "Who the fuck is Reggie?"
Yeah.
I just think that was you telling people who was you?
No. I was. I knew it was Redman because I was a Redman fan too back then, and because of my brothers. So like I'll be that, like all of that. Reggie Noble, like he, So I knew from back then, but even breaking down his list, it made me want to listen to more Corrupt. Because I listen to Corrupt, but not to the level of, like, top 10 worthy type shit.
He's like a super rapper, like, just rhyme for days and just can talk his shit and everything like that. I always felt that, this is going to be really left. I felt that, like, when Ray J was hanging out with Death Row, he saw Corrupt and was like, that's it. That's who I want to act like.
Right? And even back then having... Like, Jadakiss has lived a million lives, man. Even him having Jada in his top 10, like, from back then. This was 2002. Jada had one solo album.
Yeah.
But
that's how good of an ear Eminem has for, like, lyricism and MCs. I think for him to do that, because basically Eminem put 3 rappers that, like, obviously they get their respect, but like I feel like he put them in like a certain kind of like air. Andre 3000, Jadakiss, and Redman.
Yeah.
Because I definitely heard people say Redman was like nice and like one of the best rappers out. But I felt like after that, like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, you didn't know that?" Mm-hmm. And I think that he put 2 rappers that are in prominent groups, and like singled them out and said that. And I think that's when people started recognizing Andre 3000 as like
he wasn't
like
being singled out like that back then. Yeah,
I think like that like was the best thing. I feel like them niggas might need to should be like sending like Eminem some checks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he singled them out, and it definitely, their career trajectory definitely changed from then on.
Yeah. I wish this song was a single. Like I definitely think that because like with Eminem's shit, like everything happened so fast that he definitely could have like made this song a single. He could have made what else did I say? Business. Mm-hmm. And Soldier.
Business was a single.
Business was a single?
Yeah.
Okay, so White America, Till I Collapse, Soldier, and obviously, what was the other song? Without Me? No, not Without Me.
Was it Superman?
No, not Superman.
Superman was a single.
Which one was a silly song? Hold on. Sorry, yeah, Without Me, yeah. Okay. Because Without Me, like, he always has to have like the first single silly song, right? So yeah, I think those should have been because those are like his strongest songs in my opinion on the album.
Yeah, yeah.
White America should have been a single.
Yeah, that's true. Because he went on to make Mosh a single for what you call it?
For Encore.
For Encore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that cartoon video that they made, that was weird.
The next and final song, you could say, on this album is My Dad's Going Crazy. Perfect and it features Haley Jade, his daughter. Mm-hmm. When you listen to it now, it's funny, but it's also like, damn, like this is. I always wondered about the creation of this song. Like, did he let her hear this, or did he just have her just going silly in the booth?
I think. Yeah, I don't think she listened. I don't think she even understood like what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah,
but
she was funny on this. He had her doing chainsaw noises, like.
I liked it when he was like, nah, 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 nah.
It's a funny song. And him just taking everything that people said about him and just putting it in the song. Like, I feel like Kanye is gonna do something like this, not with his daughter, but just kind of making fun of how everybody says how erratic he is and how people. His closest thing to that was probably I Miss the Old Kanye.
Yeah, I think there's some parallels between Kanye and M in a sense of like, I think Kanye realized early on in his career that controversy like sells, and like we always say like, Kanye got an album coming out, we know something's about to happen, right? And I really think that Kanye really like leans into it now, even like with him like talking about like politics, like he always like it was like a formula he had with like he always did that, and I think he kind of like saw what M was doing. And he kind of like remixed it and made it his own twist. Because if you think about it, like it's like Kanye like always needs some kind of. He always has like an opinion about something. It's like he kind of like embraces it though. Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's true. And they both work their ways into like being these people that can get away with everything. Yeah. Because they already seen a certain way.
Right.
But yeah, that can kind of conclude this album. I think it's a really good depiction of how Eminem was, and it's a great introductory to Eminem as an artist because you get the most full body of work from Eminem as an artist with this album. Right. There was like, I always thought it was interesting when you look at the Encore booklet or even the album itself. It said on the disc, it says, "To my family and all my friends, thank you for everything. I will always love you. To my fans, I'm sorry." So, like, I always saw that. I mean, there's a
suicide note.
Well, no, I saw it as like he sees the disappointment that he's gonna have from then on. Like he kind of already, exercised like his best product out there. Because Encore came out and people was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, even though it has some highlights on there.
Is that the album that he says he doesn't remember making?
I think so.
Yeah, because I think after this album, I think like everything went downhill for him with drugs and everything like that, and his like kind of like obsessive personality with shit. And I think like he just blinked out. The fact that he doesn't remember performing at the BET Awards is fucking hilarious. Yeah. Well, it's sad, but it's hilarious because he rapped his ass off on the Lean Back remix.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a suicide note, but I think it's like a double entendre with his with how he did in his career. You know?
I think so. I think he kind of like knew like my life will never be the same. You'll never.
Yeah, never be the same like person. This is it. And I think this that level of fame really got to him. Like it limited him and how he could move, and then he just kind of became a shell of himself.
Agreed. It's kind of fucked up. I mean, one of these days I'll be allowed to talk to Eminem. Every time I've been in the same room as Eminem, there's no way I was even. I wasn't even looking that man's direction.
I wouldn't even know what to say to him.
I would talk to him about boxing. He's a big fan of boxing.
Oh yeah, he is.
I would talk to him about boxing, and I would talk to him about Jordans.
Yeah, and sweatpants. He likes sweatpants.
He does like Air Maxes. He does like sweatpants and Air Maxes.
And Air Maxes.
But yeah, I absolutely would talk to him about that. Oh, and I would talk to him about film because he loves film. He loves movies and shit like that. And ask him why the fuck he didn't do Southpaw.
Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah. That'd be good.
Good conversation.
Yeah, I'm rooting for that for us getting that interview. That'd be gold. That'd be gold.
Yeah, man, gold. Amazing.
But yes, until then, I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
And we are out of here.
Catch you guys next time.
Peace.